not without the need to knock on me. And we said goodbye after saving down in killer bees and crying about how much he loves his wife.
Testing. Hello, 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 hello. Alright. What's up, my little butt cracks? Alright, today we're gonna go over how to make your audience cry. For our third-person action adventure game, Seabird, I really want us to make an impact. I don't want us to just make some silly one-off, dumb experience that's gonna be consumed, pooped out, and forgotten. I really wanna make an impact on someone that the games that I played growing up really had on me. Now, growing up, I didn't really have a lot to latch onto. I was the youngest in my family, and I was the outcast, always the last pick. My mom was always working too hard to be home. My dad was kind of like a house plant that was just kind of there, didn't really want anything to do with me. My brother was an epileptic, abusive, skinhead Nazi that was way too scared to be around, and my sister, she was your typical annoyed teenage sibling that I probably bothered way more than I should have. Now, I'm not saying that to diminish any of the good times that I had with my family, but for the majority of growing up, it was pretty rough. Being first generation refugees from a war-torn country kind of put us through some hard times, but we did the best that we could with the cards that we were dealt. Now, I'm not saying this for any sympathy. Don't pity me. I have a lot to be thankful for, actually, but I'm just saying all this for context. So it's safe to say that growing up, video games were kind of my escape. It could have easily been hard drugs or violence, but no, I had video games. Whenever I was looking around for guidance or comfort and I didn't have anyone to turn to, I had video games. Whenever I didn't know something or I was scared, I had video games. Whenever I made friends, how did we connect? It's always through video games. Video games have taught me a lot growing up. GTA taught me how to drive. I've learned how, Lord knows I wouldn't have passed any of my history classes if it wasn't for Call of Duty, Ass Creed, or Uncharted. Video games have taught me to love without condition, to find joy and value in the littlest of details, and most of all, to have compassion for others. And to triumph against the harshest of odds. That goddamn level, that bridge level from Crash Bandicoot, that made me a man. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. When someone says, why are you crying? It's just a stupid game. Send them this video. Hey, you show them, you tell them, help them understand, okay? So the goal, our mission in making this game is to have a moral that'll stand out and really stick with someone. Maybe make them change their mind or their feelings on something. I want us to make an experience that will connect with some kid and they'll keep the experience for their whole life, and it'll remind them that it's okay and to push on even though it's hard. However indirect, just having some kind of positive effect on someone. So, how are we gonna do that? Good question. How could we possibly make a game like that? And I thought about it, and it's weird what people can connect to. It could be any number of things. Someone will connect with a character in a story that they like, and that might be enough. Others might just connect with the art style itself, or the soundtrack, the songs that they experience and listen to while they're playing the game might stick with them, and they might hear it. They might bring them back to that nostalgic feeling, Quick shout out to the Burnout series for having the most bomb-ass soundtracks. It's you got Burnout Paradise with the Pigeon Detectives. Oh my god, dude. Shout out to Burnout for basically creating my whole entire taste in music. So it got me thinking, it might be better that we don't have a super standout, stick-in-your-face message. We don't want some obvious ham-fisted moral or message just constantly hammering in the audience face, because that can be really annoying and might come across as pandering and more preachy than helpful. No need to explain a joke, because then it loses all of its value. So basically all we have to do is be as subtle as we can for as long as we can. It's a balancing act is what it's going to be. You know, we can try to guide and steer the audience kind of like in a certain direction that we want them to go to. But after the game's release, you know, it's kind of out of our hands, and how people interpret their experience, it's going to be unique to them. You know, the game will no longer belong to us, the creator, but the audience, the consumer. It'll be up to the individual to decide what the story really means to them. So again, how will we make someone cry though? How do you make your audience cry? And I'm not exactly sure. I've cried to some weird shit, man. I've cried to some weird shit, man. I think I cried at the end of Prince of Persia, The Forgotten Sands, The Sands of Time, whatever the one on the PS2 was, long ass time ago. Not because it was sad either. You know, I think I was just sitting in my room in my torn up X-Rocker chair in my whitey tighties, sweating my ass off in the middle of summer, sad because I had nothing else to play. You know, I was sad that I just beat the only game that I haven't already played 1,000 times. Remember, this was the PS2. This was back in the PS2 era. This is pre-free to play Fortnite, Apex, what have yous, the bliss glory days that we're living in today. I don't know if you guys have felt this similar feeling, but it's kind of like when you just finished reading a book and it's like you're saying goodbye to a friend. You know, you're sad that the time you've enjoyed is gone, and even though you can reread a book or replay a game, it's kind of hard to make new memories when you're reliving old ones. Don't let that make you sad either, because even though you just finished a book or you just finished your favorite TV show and it feels like you're saying goodbye to a friend, or you've just cut off all your hair and that makes you just as sad as well, hair will regrow, hopefully. You know, there's always going to be new stories to read, and we'll always have the memories of the stories that we've already read. Anyway, back from that little sidetrack that we just had, I think the way that we're going to make our audience cry is by planning. That's right, by planning. For the most part, Seabird is going to be an upbeat, joyful ride throughout, so when a serious, more important note happens, the impact of the moment is all the greater. Kind of like how in the movie Mulan, the whole movie is singing and laughing, but then when something serious comes along, like an entire village being burned down, you know, your gut just drops. So to be able to do something like that in our game Seabird, we're gonna have to do a lot of planning. So before we make anything in a game engine, what we're gonna do is put pen to paper, or in our case, we're gonna put pen to tablet and make a storyboard. Tuck, fuck, why don't we just give into the good part? Just go in, make the good stuff, fuck it, just wing it. No, we can't, okay? Listen. Because we don't want to spend hours of unnecessary polishing on things that the audience is probably never going to see. You know, if I just have a character sitting in a bedroom, I don't want to make the entire city that they're living in, but instead just what the player will be seeing there in the moment. I don't know, maybe if I didn't have a full-time job, I could take the time to 3D model Gwendolyn's tube of toothpaste from 3 doors down from the main character, but even in space, capitalism unfortunately reigns supreme. So we have to, our time is very precious. We have to use every second wisely. You know, replicator meals don't pay it for themselves. We gotta work, make the money. So if instead we formulate and visualize the things that will help us tell our hero's story now, when we can easily erase and make changes without losing too much time, it'll be a huge time saver down the pipeline when we're creating final art. And storyboards are an amazing tool to save a lot of time and therefore save a lot of money. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the story. I went ahead and I created a storyboard for our game, and the story's really come along, and I'm very excited for, I don't want to spoil anything right now, but I'm excited for you guys to see where things are gonna go. So I'm gonna show you that. So I'm gonna show you the opening intro portion of the storyboard I made, just to give you guys a glimpse on where we're at. that's all you get. That's all I'm gonna show you. I don't want to spoil anything else. I probably already showed you too much. But here, let me actually show you how this is going to help us. These establishing shots will help us set the tone and inciting incident for our hero Walter. The shots will pack a lot of info for the viewer and is also helping us, the artist, know all of the props and assets we'll have to build in 3D without having to go in blind and spend too much time making more than what we'll need or what the viewer will even see. For example, we have a sign in the lower left third of this shot pointing to where the next shot is going to be, letting the viewer know where to look and also where the next shot will be taking place. In one of the seaside town shops where our hero Walter is sat in the upper right third where the sign was also pointing. See how we're guiding the viewer to know where to look, see from left to right? Just like how in the Western world we read from left to right. We're also showing progress in the story from left to right. This is called composition. Composition is one of your most important tools, and most importantly, it's a free tool that will really help separate your work from other artists. Now, if you want to know how I make my storyboards, because they're a little more like animatics than actual storyboards, I can go ahead and just tell you right now. All right, this is what I did. I'm gonna tell you. I saved up some money, and then I spent it. I know, I'm a fake artist, don't hate me. So I bought a tablet and I bought some brushes online and I just trace over some reference photos I find online, and it's nothing magic. It's just serving the purpose of getting an idea out of this noggin and onto paper. Because who knows? Maybe the publisher, hopefully maybe, a publisher wants to buy our game and we'll have to have a way to, you know, get our ideas across clearly and quickly. No one should feel bad about not creating everything from scratch. That's stupid. No one is going to know or even care if you didn't. You know, here we have a game to make. We don't have gatekeepers to please. Talking to you, Stacy, from a graphic design class back in 2017, was creating elaborate, delicate art from scratch in seconds, effortlessly. Fuck you, okay? Anyway, don't be sad. It's gonna be today. It's gonna be it for today. Today's clog over. Thanks for stopping by. Have a nice day.
So in love with you.